Not going to lie, guys, going into that late window, I wasn't really expecting much because, the rest of Sunday really wasn't that good. But dang, those last 5 games we had on Sunday lived up to it. Let's get this thing rolling.
Down at 10. Surveying the situation, nobody open. It's some trouble. Browning on the move, throwing for the end zone, looking for Chase. He pulls it in, touchdown! Oh, what a catch!
DeMarcano off to the races. 20-10 touchdown.
Well, that's going to be close.
Oh my goodness, boy. He extended it with his hand a little bit.
It's Snead's trying to say that he got the ball out. He's got time to heave it. There's a whole pack of people there, and it's incomplete. And there's no flag.
Inside of 5 minutes, Ward goes through his progressions. Everyone covers. It's deflected and picked. The Denver's in and the football came out. Who recovers? Tennessee for the touchdown.
There's the pressure. Here's the pressure. Winfield headed. He throws an interception. It's picked off. Got it. And Tampa Bay will win it on a walk-off 39-yard field goal.
Action, Rattler to the air. Looking deep down the field. Shaheed's got great speed. He's done it. Shaheed down the sideline. 10-5. Touchdown.
Long snapper. The kick from Sly is good. And the Titans end their 10-game losing streak.
We welcome you to the NFL London game.
Returns Ham at fullback. On second down with C.J. Ham leading the way. It's Mason. Loose. They send in Aiden Huntington, a defensive lineman, as a fullback, and Judkins picks up first down yardage. Second and goal. Fake to Judkins. Gabriel. Fallon. Touchdown. Open. Gain of 20. This is Cam Akers. He throws. Wide open. Touchdown, Josh Oliver. They run a play, and it's Jerome Ford with the push from the Browns' 3-yard line. It's Mason. Easy for a Vikings touchdown. Judkins. He's got it on the second effort. Split out wide to the left on third down. To the end zone, it is caught. Njoku for a Cleveland Browns touchdown.
Nothing short of magnificent. Seeing some of these new stadiums and how they look in the open air, it's gorgeous.
Fumble. Ball came loose on the handoff to Scott. Out of 10. Wentz. Jefferson, he's got it. 1-yard attempt.
Nope.
On the right hash. Kick is no good.
Step up. Make one of these game-changing plays.
Wentz, 2nd and 5. Allison, he's got it. Touchdown. As Gabriel throws, and it is caught by Thresh. But that will do it.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the NFL Week 5 Sunday recap. As you saw, 12 games, I think, going on Sunday. There's a lot of things going on. Again, as we're really in the thick of the NFL season, as buys have now, again, occurred. But with that said, starting off Sunday was the NFL London game, the first of 3. We'll get to those, again, as the weeks follow. But in the first of 3, again, also the Vikings ended their international series as they have, again, played back-to-back weeks. Again, first in Ireland last week, and now we got another 10-day road trip here in London. Again, they lost last week to the Steelers, but they bounced back here with a very stressful, but, again, finishing win as they were able to knock out the Browns 21-17, who now fall to 1-4. The Vikings go into their bye week in a pretty decent spot. Browns will have to, unfortunately, play next week against who I'm not really recollecting. No, they're going to play the Steelers on the road, so that'll definitely be a tough game. But again, for the Vikings playing against a rookie quarterback in his NFL debut, there were definitely some big disappointments on defense from what I saw. Again, they really weren't that aggressive. We'll get to that in a little bit, but the Vikings still got the W, took care of business. With that said, though, notes I had on the Vikings, first thing was that Jordan Mason looked like a legit number 1 running back. I understood that he only had 52 yards and 4 yards per carry, but there were several plays where the box was stacked and the odds were stacked against him. He was still able to get enough yardage to put them in a better situation, which I think was very admirable of him. Oh yeah, also the Vikings again are now still undefeated in London. They haven't lost a London game yet. Just wanted to mention that again. They lost last week, but just wanted to again separate that there. Oh yeah, that's the JJ I've been waiting for. Yeah, I understand Justin Jefferson technically last week had a better game statistically, but this game he was getting open way more consistently. And he just looked that's the Justin Jefferson we're used to seeing. Even though again on the still didn't really look completely there, but Justin Jefferson had another big game. Again, that's what makes him so good too, because again he puts up numbers despite maybe not be looking again the eye test really passing completely. Yeah, since this counts as 2 road games, they gotta be good at home. Yeah, I think that's very fair to say. Again, look at this Vikings team again. They bet basically both these games technically count as road games despite them being neutral site. I need to see this team be dominant at home again. I really think again they can kind of take advantage of this sort of scheduling thing. Aston didn't play at all in the first quarter. He just didn't play. And then after that, again, obviously he kind of saved them with those 3 big catches on, and there's really plays there at the end of the game. Other than that, though, offense has really been slow to start the season. Again, really to start games. Again, now we're in week 5. Again, last week they did. This week definitely. And again, really just think back to week 1 as well. They didn't do anything in week 2. Eric Wilson was very solid. I think he was definitely their stalwart in terms of run stuffing in this game. He did a lot of plays for them. And also, Jonathan Grenard woke up. He had 2 sacks. Or only had 1 sack. I don't know where's Jonathan Grenard. He didn't have a sack, but he got a lot of pressure. Like, hats off to him. He had a really good game. All right, moving over to the Browns. Again, obviously, like I said, they do have a rookie. Dylan Gabriel made his debut. I didn't think he played bad at all. I think he made a lot of solid throws. But again, I really think he wasn't challenged in a lot of ways. And I think the Vikings defense didn't put him in really too many stressful situations. But again, he threw over the middle somewhat. But again, it was a lot of those out routes, hitches, a lot of choice sort of throws for him. Wasn't asked to really push the ball downfield too much. And as a result, again, we saw that Dylan Gabriel didn't have to do too much. Other than that, though, yeah, relatively solid from Gabriel. Thrash should have stemmed the route 3 yards deeper again on that play where again the end of the game. Again, it was a nice route by him. I just think again if he was able to get a little bit more downfield there, I think that would have been able to put them in a spot where he could have got out of bounds. Again, that's partly again the play calling there as well. Judkins, first Browns rookie of 100 scrimmage yards in back-to-back games since Nick Chubb did so in 2019. I don't know, maybe he'll be just as good as Nick Chubb. He looked pretty good in this one. Same start as last year, but y'all don't feel as bad. Yeah, again, look at the Browns last year. They were 1-4. Again, they had a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of expectations, but expectations going into the year with Deshaun Watson. He sucked, and then again, they were 1-4. So again, I think this is a little bit better of a feel despite this team still not being, again, entirely great. Njoku has awoken. Yeah, he showed up, and then obviously Fannin with the touchdown as well. He was pretty okay. Yeah, I guess you could say. Yeah, no receiver played particularly well either. I think that's fair to say because like Isaiah Bond, I guess, led them in the receiving for actual receivers, but again, that really doesn't say much. And Jerry Jeudy kind of got shut down. It really wasn't a good game in that sense. O-line blocked up-ish. Yeah, they did, I think, a decent job, but there were a lot of plays where they really didn't have to sustain many blocks. I look back to Antonio Harrison with Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma. That's what I saw a lot of from the tackles. Need a dude at the second level. Yeah. Can't be JOK because he's out. Yeah, there were a lot of plays this game where their linebackers just simply didn't make the plays they needed to, and that's part of the reason they lost. Again, they needed someone to be able to make those plays. Again, Vikings not getting them yardage though. A lot of other stuff going on. Also, I'd like to mention this is NFL through 5 weeks. There's been 14 games with a team scoring 40 or more points. That is an NFL record for the first 5 weeks. So I guess scoring technically in that sense is up. And there was something else that I'm just not really remembering. Oh yeah, takeaways. What was this? No. Yeah, first time since 2014. No one. Oh, we'll just get more into that later. All right, that's all I got here from this game. Now let's get into a little bit of a worse game.
It's the NFL on CBS Week 5 as we welcome you to Baltimore. The Texans. Fake it. Throw it. It's caught for the touchdown. Xavier Hutchinson. Rush, shotgun, Rush is on, Rush hangs in there, it's complete! DeAndre Hopkins, the former Texan. Dime package. Stroud hangs in there, throws, it's caught for the touchdown! Nico Collins. 8 completions for C.J. Stroud. They're knocking on the door once again. Stroud, end zone! Touchdown! Texans! Hutchinson will have the football to start the second half. Kick on the way, and it is no good going on this drive. Play action, rush, safety valve is Henry, and it's intercepted.
To establish some of that run identity. Run.
Could go all the way, it does! Make the handoff, it's a deep shot, rush looking, and Zay Flower turns around, gets up, and gets away! Henry, the ball carrier. And Henry, the second
City
effort.
was a
He's got
lady.
it. Touchdown, Raven, a 1-4 start. Off the fake, sets, throws, Stroud, deep shot, Christian Kirk has got it! Fake the pitch, soft toss, it's handled, Noel is in for the touchdown! Off the play fake, and that ball's up in the air and taken away by Petrie! Biggest run of the day, 7 yards. Rush, deep ball, well played by Lassiter!
All right, and then the first of the 1 o'clock games, you just saw that the Texans absolutely embarrassed the Ravens as they knocked them off with a massive 34-point victory in Baltimore. Absolutely embarrassing performance by the Ravens as they now fall to 1-4, losing their 3rd straight. And this is a defense that obviously has not been very, very, very good at all this season. They'll be hosting the Rams next week with a decent chance that Lamar's not playing. So, I mean, that's just not good for them. Texans get a big-time win. They'll be going their bye week at 2-3 and have, again, a decent shot at getting back over 500, if I'm not mistaken, in Week 7. I might be wrong on that, though. We'll get there when we need to. Anyway, though, for the Texans, the offense exists. 44 points. I mean, yeah, again, it was a little bit of, unskewed because they're playing the poor Ravens defense. But, again, 44 points is 44 points, guys. This team ran the ball really freaking well. It was fun to watch. Again, I kind of missed the C.J. Stroud scramble. But other than that, again, they simply, again, move the ball at will most of the time in this game. And that's just something you were not expecting coming into this game. Again, C.J. Stroud was surgical. Again, that's what I put down. 4 touchdowns from him. I didn't get to watch too much of his tape, but from what I saw, he was just completely wheeling out there. Again, the Texans basically do whatever they wanted. 167 yards on the ground. We'll get it done. Came in 0-8 going into this game against the Ravens in Baltimore. They'd never won there, which I think is just pretty crazy to start out with. Also, this is, again, very big asterisk, but Christian Kirk, I think, could be their explosive receiver to go along with Nico Collins. Again, he's really the only guy, Nico Collins, that is, in this offense that you really see a bunch of juice out of. But, again, I see Christian Kirk, again, I think there's a chance he could definitely become a guy that could make those big plays, even though, realistically, outside of a couple of years in Arizona, hasn't really had that, sort of part of his game. Schultz was productive. Yeah, he had a very solid game. He's been, again, probably the most consistent receiving threat so far, obviously, outside of Nico. But, again, Nico hasn't exactly lived up to his expectations. And, yeah, scored more in this game than they had in their first 3 weeks when they started out 0-3. So that's actually crazy. D was their defense. I don't really need to get into it. They were absolutely phenomenal, as you might expect them to be. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, there's a lot of things I have to say about them. This is the first time since 2015, they've started 1-4. That season, they went 5-11. So, again, just not really much going on there. 4-11 without Lamar as well as a quarterback. So, again, this is back 2018. Well, I think it was like 2019, whatever. When Lamar isn't a quarterback, they struggle. Again, I think really the only season where they even kind of managed was 2022 when he got injured is out the season. But, again, they still lost in the wild card. So, again, that wasn't very good. Zach Orr is in hot water. Yeah, he's in big trouble right now. This defense is absolutely abysmal. And even though, again, there's a lot of things that go into it that I don't want to drag this thing out into, but again, they are injured, so that, again, there's a lot of things that are affecting it. But they still have uberly talented players in this defense, and the fact that, again, they're still not performing even close to the way they could, even if they were super banged up, is a massive, massive, massive issue. They're not being coached well. They're very undisciplined. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it, but Zach Orr is not doing his job. It's that simple. D gave up schematically, all that stuff. Cooper Rush struggled. 3 picks isn't going to get it done. Other than that, though, most points they've allowed in a home game under Harbaugh. And, can it get any worse than this? I don't know. Maybe next week, but I hope they can play better against the Rams because I actually want to see that game be good. But, Texans outgained by over 200 yards. This game was an absolute blowout. Again, as you probably would have expected, again, with the score. That's what I got there, though. Let's get into our other game. This game was just ugly.
Giants rookies Cam Scatteraboo and Jackson Dart moments away from taking the field in New Orleans.
Play action, Dart, end zone, wide open, touchdown, Theo Johnson.
At the back end of the formation, one-on-one.
Looking his way, and it's caught for a touchdown. Johnson does it again. 3rd and 2. It's a flea flicker. Dart's got a wide open man down the field, and it is incomplete. 52-yard attempt. And this one is no good. They still don't have a lead. Dart. And he's got a completion. Slayton lost the football. Scooped up by Sanker on the return. Timeout they do. Wan'Dale Robinson, and he may have just gotten enough. Was looking deep for Robinson, not home. He's got all day. Now he's going to run, and he lost the football. It slipped right out of his hands. Got it. And the ball came out.
No whistle. Howden going the other way.
Howden's going to go the distance. And Dart, pressure coming off the edge. He's on the move. Dart trying to keep it alive. Throws across his body deep, and it's picked off.
Expected called the way this game has been throughout the course of this afternoon.
Dart intercepted again. Could be from 46 yards away. This one is no good. Dart, pressure coming. Rolling right. Chased by Rump. Nowhere to go. Throws incomplete.
Congrats, Spencer Rattler, as the Saints get their first win since December. Again, they beat the Giants in that game, and now they beat the Giants again this season for their first win. So, again, good for the Saints, guys. They really deserve this win. They played a very solid game, especially on defense. And, again, they got their first win of the season. And I'd be happy if you're a Saints fan coming, again, with this. But, again, next week they will be hosting the Patriots, which should be an interesting game. Giants, oof. They're not looking too hot, but they will be they'll be doing. Oh, they're going to the Eagles on. Oh, that's gonna be a rough one. Eagles on Thursday night. We'll definitely get talking more about that until that again comes up there. With that said, though, for the Giants takeaways I have for them, yeah, scored on the first 2 drives and then didn't score the rest of the game. I mean, that's really not gonna set you up for success unless I don't know you have like the 85 Bears defense or something. Scatterboat, a couple of rookie moments. Yeah, but the fumble was bad, but that really wasn't the start of it. There were a lot of other times where he just was ill-advised runs, or not even runs. With his vision, just didn't really make the greatest plays. But other than that, I still don't think he played too bad. But again, it just definitely was his rookie moment sort of game for him. The tight ends are interesting. Yeah, that was fun to watch in those first 2 drives. After that, though, it was a little bit of a mess. I mean, Daniel Bellinger didn't play that bad, but like still, the blocking was a little bit suspect. Slayton had a frustrating game, but yeah, there's something there. Again, Darius Slayton, I won't say they're going to want to live or die by him, but at some point he's going to have to be able to make plays for them. I don't think he had a bad game in this one. The fumble really sucked, and I don't think they had much confidence in him after that, but he really didn't have that bad of a game. There were several plays where he got wide open. Like, I can't put too much of the blame on him despite him making a couple of big mistakes. But again, he is their guy when it comes to being a receiver going down, like, not to stretch, but he's got to be involved in this offense. Wan'Dale Robinson, obviously he's going to be a check down merchant and all that. We all know what's going on there. Other than that, though, 3 fumble losses, the most since they played the Cardinals in 2020. Again, if you're any fan of the Giants, you probably remember that game. That's the one that Daniel Jones got sacked 8 times. I think it was the Hassan Reddick breakout game or something like that. And also their pressure rate on defense was absolutely atrocious. It wasn't like, I guess technically it wasn't so bad to the point where you could say, yeah, that's a bad pass rush, but they didn't get much pressure in this game. Other than that, though, yes, Darius Alexander can engage, get to an effective move. Yeah, that is true, because he has 3 or 4 moves he can use, but he really doesn't have any sort of go-to approach to that, which is, again, it's really hard to get generate any sort of pressure with that, and that's why he really didn't get all that many snaps in this game. Otherwise, for the Saints, again, I already kind of talked about what's up for them. Again, Spencer Rattler came in 0-10 as a starter for this one. But offense didn't do jack, to be honest with you guys. Other than that bomb that he threw to Rashid Shaheed, this offense really didn't do much of anything. It was really just the fact that this defense completely just flipped the game on its head. Yeah, why didn't Kamara get more than 12 touches? I think there's really no reason, again, other than the fact that, again, I understand he didn't have the greatest game. But 12 touches for Alvin Kamara is absolutely gross. He's the engine of this offense in a lot of ways. And him not getting those touches is just a little bit bizarre to me. But again, Rashid Shaheed, he's got the major speed, and you also have, again, Chris Olave, who I think did have a decent game. I'm not going to say I think he did, but I thought he did a decent job. But yeah, those were some nasty routes he ran. I mean, some of them were bad because, again, he fell, but still. Hill and Moreau put this offense in a couple good sets. The reason I said that is because, I understand that Taysom Hill wasn't exactly the most attractive guy to watch on the field, but he did a lot for this team in terms of blocking and again just really diversifying this offense, and also Foster Moreau, who I don't really see get out there too much, but he blocked pretty well when he was out there. Other than that, though, Demario Davis played in the Senior Bowl against Kellen Moore. I just brought that up because again it was a graphic I saw in this game, and I'm like, okay, that was actually pretty crazy. And the secondary was mostly locked down. Again, we saw Kool-Aid McKinstry have 2 picks and stuff. There were a lot of good things to talk about there. But the Saints didn't even outgain them. But again, they held on with those 5 turnovers. I kind of forgot Jackson Dart threw 2 picks. But yeah, 5 turnovers were kind of the story in this game. But good for the Saints. Hopefully you don't get blown out next week here. But that's what I got there.
We're doing it. The NFL in uptown Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium. Folks, it is Week 5 football. We've got the Miami Dolphins in town taking on the Carolina.
How to play together.
Hey, yo.
Young just dropped it, and Miami's got it. My 5. Tunga Bailoa goes to Waller. Why not? Tunga Bailoa to the end zone. Achan, did he? He did! Steps up in the pocket. His pass is picked off. Miami's got another turnover. Rasul Douglas. Tunga Bailoa. Got his man. Touchdown, Waller. Young. He can run. Not anymore. It's caught. It is. Caught. Back of the end zone. Xavier Liggett. Thank you, Jen. Pitch out to Dowdle. And Dowdle! What kind of speed do you get, young man? Handoff on second down. Look at this! Dowdle! Still on his feet! What an afternoon for Dowdle! He got in! Touchdown, Carolina! Play action. Tunga Bailoa has Waddle! Touchdown! Young caught! It's Horn! Who knew? Jimmy Horn! Get out! Bryce Young got his man! Touchdown! Mitchell Evans! Oh, they're gonna pass! Incomplete! And a flag comes down.
Oh, baby, one of those games where, a lot of stuff happened. But, again, Dolphins came out into 17-0 lead in this one over the Panthers. But then the Panthers were like, you know what? We have the best running back in the NFL. And they rode that onto, again, a very strong fourth-quarter finish offensively and pulled off a massive comeback over the Dolphins, who now fall to 1-4 are in free fall. Meanwhile, the Panthers, again, kind of recover here as they got the Cowboys next week at home. Hopefully don't give 80 points to them. But the Dolphins, yeah, it's not looking too hot. They got the Chargers at home next week, though. Anyway, with that said, for the Dolphins, Tua, from what I guess I wrote down, fold like a lawn chair under pressure. Yeah, he got sacked, 3 times? I think that was a little bit exaggerated. There were several plays where he just did not get rid of the ball. And again, for a guy who just is consistently so quick and so accurate with the football, this was not a game where you saw him, again, I wouldn't say handle the pressure, but kind of scheme out of that. Again, him specifically, not like Mike McDaniel. I don't want to put any blame on him, obviously. Oh no. But still, Tua, that was the biggest issue I saw from him in this one. Statistically, he was fine, but again, that's only saying so much. Yeah, the O-line has a huge problem. Again, they were really bad in this game. I don't think Tua had one real clean pocket, to be honest with you guys. A lot of them were just kind of set up like a screen sort of thing going on, which again, it's really not going to get done. But the fact, again, Devon Achane ran the ball the way he did, and the fact that he really never has games like this kind of tells you what's up there. Jalen Waddle shows up for the first time since 2023. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. He had a couple of good games last year, but this is the best I've seen him in a while. Darren Waller might be there. He might be back. Again, back-to-back games where he's been, I wouldn't say dominant, but definitely in a really effective receiving threat. And a disappointing effort in the secondary as well. I wouldn't say they absolutely didn't have to jack squat, but they definitely did not have a good game. There were several times where they were just completely out of sorts in coverage, and that just can't happen, especially against a Panthers receiving core that is just not the greatest. And yeah, obviously horrible gap discipline. That is the reason they gave up that many yards. Again, there's really nothing else to it. Again, usually when a guy goes for 200 yards, that is a major part of it. And that was the case for the Dolphins in this one. Other than that, though, edge rushers couldn't hold contained. That's why Bryce Young had a couple nice throws. But yeah, Bradley Chubb, I don't think again he was pretty much solid, but like he wasn't. He was winning, but it wasn't like again consistently being able to contain either. And also, corners only played outside leverage. Yeah, it was a little bit of an interesting decision for them, but definitely something that was an issue. Also, they're 1-4 for the first time since 2021. They finished 98th that year after a 1-7 start. I don't see that happening, but we'll see again, who really knows. And then Traders should get some run. That's a rookie slot corner. I think he should definitely get some chances. Bryce Young, he was out there, but again, this really wasn't the story from the game, as you can see right here. Bryce, he just kind of did his own thing out there. I mean, again, he wasn't that bad, but like, again, the pick was pretty bad. That's all I got from him. Again, he also fumbled. So, turnovers are a big issue. But for Rico Dowdle, I mean, like, I don't even know what to tell you guys. This was an absolute, like, just bonkers performance. You don't see 200 yards very often. I don't think you'll ever expect to see out of Rico Dowdle, but hey, this is where we are right now. Again, 200-yard game, had again the touchdown as well. He broke a couple really long runs. I'm not like mistaken, like at least 240 plus. They're like huge game on his part, obviously. Also 20 yards receiving, which, if I'm not mistaken, first 200-yard game by the Panthers since McCaffrey did so in Week 5 against the Jags in 2019. So it's been a minute since they have had a guy had this type of game. O-line put on the best display of vertical to his horizontal displacement since Barkley versus the Rams. I don't even know if that's the greatest comparison, but there were like several instances of that game last year in Week 12 where Barkley the O-line just completely moved everything around for him. And again, exact same thing in this game. It was very consistently that was happening. That displacement is so hard to again continually see. And the fact that like they didn't even need to like try while they were doing it is just absolutely crazy from what I saw. Shaky tackle protection, though. I don't think they did a good job in pass protection, again, especially with Taylor Moan. He just didn't have a very good game. Ikem Ekwonu, again, was great against the run, so I don't really care as a run blocker, so I don't even care how he pass blocked in this one. But Taylor Moan, again, that's not really his, again, true strong suit. And then Renfro was fun to watch on tape because he ran a lot of good routes, even though, again, the statistics might not, again, at least in the box score, don't look like that. And then, they don't got no tight end there. There's really no tight end, again, to speak of in this receiving core. Defensively, I'm be honest, guys, I don't care how they played. Because, like, let's be honest, they weren't good in coverage, and their D-line did a lot of good things. So, I mean, I guess you got that going for them. 48 yards though for the Panthers offense, 240-yard rushing to the Dolphins 19. That is how they control possession. The 2 turnovers did bite them in the foot, though, because if those didn't happen, they probably would have won this game by a lot more. But that's all I got for the Panthers. Good comeback win by them. Good game from Rico Dowdle. Now let's get to a better. No, this next game was bad.
A pair of veteran quarterbacks who have relocated to new surroundings. They're out to revitalize their teams and their careers.
Genty the back, Geno Smith to throw. And floating one for Genty. He's got it. Spinning across the 40. And that's throw completes. Well, there you go. Tyler Warren is in for a Colts touchdown. A.J. Cole, and it's blocked. Ball's loose, rolling around the 10-yard line. 180. The give. Jonathan Taylor is in for a Colts touchdown. Time for Geno Smith. Batted in the air and intercepted by the Colts. Latu. Jones set to throw. He can run it. He can throw it. And diving in the end zone. Touchdown Colts. Michael Pittman. From a win last week. Daniel Carlson is off the mark. Jonathan Taylor, he's got 1 touchdown today. He's got 2. Pass to Colts and it's intercepted. A takeaway for Indianapolis. Mackay Blackman. Abdullah to the goal line and in for a Colts touchdown. He spent the last 3 years with the Raiders. On 4th down, Genty trying to get back even to the line of scrimmage, and he did not get it. And fake to him. Daniel Jones is throwing, and open deep. He's got it. Inside the 10-yard line is Ashton Doolin.
I mean, you gotta love this.
And there he goes. Jonathan Taylor, his 3rd touchdown today.
Like, if you're the Raiders, what do I even say? Like, they just didn't, they literally just didn't show up. I mean, the Colts, again, they got shut out technically for half this game, and they still put up 40 points. Like, Raiders. What? This game was a little bit weird, but still, the Colts absolutely dominated the Raiders in this game as their offense was a little bit all over the place. But they still were able to put up a really good effort and, again, move on to 4-1 for the first time since 2013. It has been a minute. But for the Raiders, they're now 1-4, losing their fourth straight game. Their offense has, again, not been the greatest in that stretch as well. And, again, due to some, late game lapses, are in the situation they're in. But next week, hopefully, they don't have the same ones the Cardinals had yesterday, as they'll be playing the Titans. But the Colts, yeah, they're in a good spot. They got the Cardinals at home next week. That'll be an interesting game though. Anyway though, for I think it's Cardinals. I might be that's definitely right. Okay, for the Raiders, they suck. Like, I don't have to tell you guys, they're just not a good football team. But realistically here, like Geno has been bad. I mean, he did, like, in terms of his progressions, he was completely fine in this game. But there's just some plays that are just agonizingly painful to watch. But again, like, those picks, like, what are you doing there, Geno? Like, I'm just, like, it's kind of hard to, like, watch you, like, say, yeah, you're playable with that stuff on tape. Again, it's just kind of hard to say that. But yeah, Gentry was taken out of the game, not literally, but, like, he literally just they couldn't use him because of how the game was going. Yeah, this offense is cooked without Brock Bowers. He's literally their entire threat over the middle of the field, and then when that's closed off, I don't really know what's gonna go on with this group. O-line had several good instances of balancing, winning to form a pocket and combating speed to power. That is the one thing I think I took away from this offense's performance. I think this O-line is at least decent, but without Colton Miller, it's kind of hard to really see how they're going to be able to project as that is, again, a major part of your offense. And yeah, they can't tackle. There were so many plays where it was just poor angles, and that just leads to, again, really tough plays to make. 6 to 7 pressures. That weren't really legit. Again, there were a lot of, like, again, empty pressures in this game. And then also Malcolm Koonce had a decent game. Though for the Colts, again, there's really nothing bad to talk about. Again, there were some things that weren't great. But Indiana Jones, the Raiders definitely lost their arc in this one. But yeah, Daniel Jones, he did his thing. JT, yeah, he had a shark dog game, considering he had 3 touchdowns on a nice 3.9 yards per carry. But other than that, for the receivers, you couldn't have told me Ashton Doolin would have led him in receiving. But again, he had that big play downfield. So again, that's kind of how you do it. Oh yeah, interior on both sides of the ball were won 90% of the time. I think that's what I charted. I might have been a little bit off on that, but it really doesn't matter. They dominated this game either way. Yeah. Slot had some issues. Yeah, I think that there were, again, without Kenny Moore, it's kind of hard to move things. But there were definitely some plays where I was a little bit questioning what they were the methods there. But again, Big Tony, he got in a little bit as well. Again, there's really nothing much to say though. Colts played a really good game here. Again, they outgained him, not by that much, but again, those 2 turnovers really killed them. Again, this Raiders offense didn't do much of anything in this game. So hats off to the Colts, but that's what I got there. Now let's move over to this next game wasn't really that much closer.
MetLife Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys off a 40-all tie against Green Bay last week against the Jets team in search of their very first win. Great tackle breaker, drop it off. Here is Ferguson in open space. Ferguson to the end zone again, touchdown. Left tackle. He had been their 6th offensive lineman earlier in the game. Here is Hall darting through a crease. The ball is out at the 10. Couple of tight ends in, back to Williams, running right, Javonte Williams, touchdown Cowboy, crashing in for 6. They're going to run it straight ahead here. Javonte Williams, oh my, he could be gone. Williams, play action, Prescott scanning, end zone, touchdown, Ferguson. Instead, it's a rapid fire touchdown. The extra point clangs off the upright. They're going to run play action. He boots to his left. He throws it, and this is juggled, and it is incomplete. Prescott loads up. Pickens hand fighting into the end zone. Touchdown! Taylor in motion. Fake it to Hall. Fields, end zone, touchdown, Andrew Beck. Dak, drop it off, easy walk-in touchdown, Javonte Williams. Fields, backside heat from Ezeraku, got it away for Wilson, 1 dodge, and leaning in, touchdown.
And the Cowboys looked like, again, a good offense like they did last week, because they carry over with a blowout win over the Jets, 37-22. They now moved to 2-1, getting back to 500, no, technically, for the second time this season. They will be playing the Panthers on the road next week. Meanwhile, the Jets are now 0-5, and they have a long trip out to London to hopefully not fall to 0-6, as they are now the last winless team in the football, as we will get to pretty soon. But for the Cowboys in this game, Prescott, again, it's his Dak Prescott, 12th game of his career with 4 or more passing touchdowns, which is, pretty good if I must say. Yeah, great run game early. Again, the one run that really inflated this was the one he had at the end of the half, which was just absolutely pathetic to see as a Jets defense. But other than that, Jonathan Williams really ran the ball well. Jaden Blue got a couple carries, which was cool to see, but again, he really didn't do that much with those carries. Also, 35-plus points in 3 of their first 3. That's not right. In 3 out of their first 5 games. There we go. Yeah, who's Flournoy? Again, he's been on this team a while, but this is like the first game where he actually was like, I don't know, like on the field. I guess that's the best way to put it. O-line is getting better every week. I guess you could say that. Again, they were really just butchered in this game. The fact they still played really well in this game, I was very shocked by. George Pickens going to have the 43-yard touchdown. He's just being a big play machine right now. Yeah, this was also just an almost backup offensive line, which is crazy to say. But Shamar James, he had a really nice game. Good for him there. And also the secondary played well. James Houston, I guess, yeah. His swipe to, not even swipe to speed to power, but the bull rush, my bad. Again, he doesn't use speed to power. That was Donovan Azira. He was good too. But James Houston, he really has the good swipe and bull rush moves that are really working well for him right now. That's what I got for the Cowboys, though. Again, it wasn't really that much of a game for them. So that's what I'll say there. For the Jets, though, oh, goodness. Fields only did stuff in garbage time. Again, these numbers really don't do it justice. He, again, was not an effective passer in this football game. Brees Hall had an unfortunate game. The fumble kind of screwed things up as well as the final score, but still, again, like, he didn't run that bad at all. Again, he had actually a pretty solid game overall. Yeah, Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. The reason I say Mason Taylor is because he at least is getting open. They really don't have any other receiving threat, though, to be honest with you guys, which, again, is a massive issue. Like, I don't know what they're doing. This is just an absolute mess. Other than that, though, we don't have a true middle linebacker with Quincy Williams out. Again, they don't really have a true playmaker there in the, at that second level, and that's just a big issue because you need someone to be able to make plays against the run. Jamin Sherwood's a solid player, but he's just not that guy. Again, with C.J. Mosley trying and all that, it's just not really looking too great there. Quinnen got no pressure. Yeah, again, if Quinnen Williams is getting pressure, there's a good chance you're just not gonna get pressure at all. Again, that's really what happened in this game. Corners didn't play well. 0-5 for the first time since 2020. I might be wrong on this. I think 1996 was also the last time they did before that, which is just crazy to say. And also, this is the biggest thing. First time since 1933, an NFL team has started 0-5 and hasn't forced a single turnover in this games. Pretty safe to say this Jets defense is not good. Good luck, though, Jets fans. That's what I got in this game. Now let's get over to, again, one of the bigger stunners of the week.
Here in Philly, it's a matchup of Super Bowl winning coaches. Sean Payton on the right, down in New Orleans, now with Denver, and the reigning champion, Nick Sirianni, and the soaring... He
comes a stalwart second-team All-Pro.
3rd and 17, going deep. He's there. It's caught at the 30 by Devontae Smith. He returns.
Well, yeah, when you get to the 2-yard line, I'm getting up quickly.
There it is. Pass, caught, touchdown. 2nd and 4, flinging it, caught. On the run is Barkley. He's in for a touchdown. Dobbins through traffic is in the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos. Biggest play of the day, 34 yards. Back they go to Ingram, balanced and dives. Touchdown for the lead. Here's the rollout, the throw, it's there. And the Broncos have taken the lead.
And in stunning fashion, I guess, the Broncos get their biggest win in years as they beat the Eagles, who are now not undefeated. I mean, again, that's pretty obvious now. 21-17 was the final score. Again, I think that score is crucial, though, because, again, if it wasn't a touchdown difference, this game probably would have won a lot different. But like I said, the Broncos get a massive win here. They will be traveling to London to hopefully not blow a game against the Jets next week, but who really knows? Eagles fought a 4-1, but they will have a chance to bounce back rather quickly as they play the Giants on Thursday night in definitely a pretty pissed off mood, if I'd have to guess. But for the Broncos in this game, it really wasn't all that, I don't want to say glamorous, but that might just be the best way to put it. But again, it's still a signature win, like either way you slice it. So again, any way you slice it, there we go. So it really isn't a big issue. Knicks got it done rather conservatively, though. Again, there really weren't many plays in this game. Again, obviously outside the numbers and stuff. But he wasn't really trying to push the envelope over the middle of the field, which I do respect. Because, again, this is an Eagles defense that has some pretty darn good guys, again, at linebackers. So you can kind of just see, again, the picture there. But at the same time, he still was, again, decent enough aggressive to the fact where, again, you really weren't just, like, watching him get, like, absolutely pounded every play because they knew he wasn't going to do anything. Running game was up to snuff. Yeah, they didn't really run the ball the most consistently, but when they did, it was a very healthy dose, and it was a very purposeful, method there. RJ Harvey did not have his best game, though. That's what I'll say there. Other than that, though, yeah, great cut. Again, this was the game. Great gutsy call by Sean Payton, go for 2 there. Again, that was literally what changed this game. Again, if he didn't go for 2 there, again, if they missed it, obviously, but again, if he didn't go for that, this game probably would have went to OT, and again, knowing the Eagles, they probably would have won an OT. So, that's kind of what you see there. Again, playing a really good team, you're like, we got to win. You smell blood in the water. You got to finish that, and that's what they had to go for. Got to go for the kill there, and that's, again, like I said, what they did. Franklin played well. Yeah, he wasn't exactly the most, again, like I said, I don't say glamorous, so that's probably the best way to put it, game. But, again, he just got open and made the clutch plays when they needed him to. Again, Sutton is just looking more and more like an actual number 1 receiver. Again, the pass rush was absolutely bonkers. They got so many pressures. They got so many sacks. It was an absolute field day for them. Ingram was solid. Yeah, I don't think he was the most. Again, he didn't really get that much separation overall, but still, very good game. Secondary was mostly on locks. Yeah, they were very, very good. Again, Riley Moss got burned that one time. That's really all I can think of, again, off the top of my head, where, again, there were really big issues. Great disguises to put put Jalen Hurts in actual situations to generate, again, to have to, like, make plays for Saquon to be able to get the ball, because there were a lot of plays that just didn't refuse to let that happen, again, pre-snap. But for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts' numbers don't really, again, give him much. He was decent through the air, but I don't think this really tells you the whole story. Also, again, it's his first loss since week 4 of last season, so again, that's pretty crazy when you think about it. Again, there as well. Offense is really slow as well. They're just not really the most, again, I don't want to say a stagnant offense, because I think that is part of it, but again, same problems as 2023. But again, last year, they still weren't, like, their motion, like, rate really wasn't anything crazy either. So I don't think that's something, and you could really just, like, again, talk about it as, again, a huge issue. Again, I understand that's part of it, but it's not, like, again, really something, or it's as pressing. But a 47-yard touchdown from Saquon, a 52-yard catch by Devontae Smith really, again, helped in terms of the explosiveness of this offense. A.J. Brown, that's an issue that is lingering. Saquon got 6 carries. Don't know what that was about, but, again, that's not going to really probably help you win games. Great day from Devontae Smith, though. He showed up and had a really solid day. D-line spotty, gap discipline. Yeah, there were several plays where they just simply did not, again, get uphill enough to, again, dictate what the interior offensive line were going to do. And also, edge rushers need to collapse the pocket quicker. There were several times where Bo Nix could literally just sit in the pocket because, again, they're still getting pressure on him, but he wasn't, again, he could definitely still stand in there, which, again, as a pass rusher, you're really just trying to prevent, because you're wasting your, again, I wouldn't say resources, but your, like, this is hard to put it, your impact in, like, the wrong areas. Anyway, though, again, the Eagles got outgained by a decent bit. Again, really solid running game, though, by the Broncos. Again, they controlled time possession. Eagles really didn't pull away at any point. Again, I guess they did. They were up by 14 going in the fourth quarter. But that's all I got there. 18 points from the Broncos fourth quarter. Good for them. Huge win as well for them. Now let's get to the craziest game of the day.
State Farm Stadium on a beautiful 85-degree day in Glendale, Arizona, as the Tennessee Titans have arrived in the action. Turns his back to the defense for a moment. Murray launches one towards the end zone. It is caught. Marvin Harrison. Back to the ground game, and they are in with Carter.
Murray, as they try to get their season jump-started here in week 5. 3rd and 3, pocket collapses. Kyler on the run. Kyler in for the Arizona touchdown.
Had a couple big drops in that last drive.
We'll start here with the run game to Pollard. Football came out. He ranks 22nd in the league in points. What a start. Trying to get well against this Tennessee defense. Knight bangs his way, and now they say touchdown.
Try and win to get to the quarterback.
Kyler on 3rd and 6. Boy, Simmons had a chance. Kyler doing his dance and just flicks the football ahead.
That's going to be a grounding.
I've been able to chew up a lot of clock. 7 plays. The drive football is loose. Live ball, and Tennessee has it.
To his open targets.
Ward this time is protected up the middle, and it's caught. Ridley. Seemed like it was at hand for the Cardinals. Handoff to Pollard, and he is in.
At least to give yourself a chance.
Okay, they missed the extra point.
That's great. The ball on time.
Ward puts some air under it. Off the sideline, Ridley.
All right, this game is like, where do I even start? Like, first things, I guess, good for the Titans. I mean, you won the game. Like, you like, again, you led for like 5 seconds, but again, who cares? You still won the game. This game was just, it wasn't real. I mean, that's like the best way to put it. But the Titans, they get their first win since November of last year, snapping their 10-game losing streak. Brian Callahan really didn't even call that good of a game, or not even call it that good of a game. He didn't really even do that good of a job in this game, but again, they still figured out a way to win it. I'm not trying to discredit him, but that's kind of where it went. They got the Raiders on the road next week. That should be a pretty big tank bowl. Cardinals, on the other hand, I mean, I don't even know where to start with them. This was the Panthers game, but on steroids in terms of how bad they played in that second half. That was pathetic. Again, the fact, again, I understand you're playing the Titans, and this Titans offense is pretty awful. But you can't go into the third quarter thinking this game's on cruise control, which is what they thought it was. I mean, it really was, but still, you can't. It's just not going to happen. I don't care that the Titans are probably the worst offense in football. You're not going to win. It's that simple. Again, there were several chances for them to put this game away, and they just simply did not do that. Lose their third straight game now. That's actually crazy. And they got the Colts on the road next week. That's not going to be an easy game for them at all. They're going to have to play probably an A game if they want to be able to, win that one. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think they'll be favored for that one. Again, just pathetic performance for the Cardinals. Like, this is it's not good. Again, you're going to be the worst team in this division if you're going to play like this. I mean, the Rams have had their issues with that, but this is it's worse. There's no way around considering who they played so far. Paper soft schedule. I wouldn't know if they'd be 5-0, but they should absolutely at least be 3-0. No, honestly, I'd say 4-1 at this point. But anyway, for the Titans, Cam Ward, best game of his season so far. I mean, I don't want to overreact or anything, but that's fair to say. This was the best game I've seen out of Cam Ward so far, and most of it came in that fourth quarter. It's that simple. You saw something different there. And also, it's, again, offense needs major help, but again, they did enough to win this game. Calvin Ridley finally showed up. He made 2 massive plays in this game that really, again, kind of clinched the game for him. Again, there was that one that sparked the offense on that first, again, that was what was it? The middle field post, that was the one route, and then again, he ran the fade there at the end. Again, got them in field goal range. Again, great anticipation from Cam Ward over the middle. Not just that throw, there were many throws where he just made really, really good, just high-level instincts there. Running game worked in a supplemental role. They weren't coming into this game thinking that this running game was going to run over everyone and that they're going to be able to, again, lean on it. But again, they used it in a decent way. DQ's playing hard. Again, it paid off. But yeah, they just did a good job. They kept grinding away. They're like, we're going to keep getting stops. And look what happened. They ended up winning the game. Again, that last play, though, oh, my God. That play, that was so cooked. On the play where, again, Cam threw the pick and then that happened, it was just it just was not real. That was absolutely a crazy play there. But for the Cardinals, looked like the Panthers game, like I said. Again, this kind of gets overshadowed, but DeMarcado, my bad. Amari there, that was bad. Hold on to the ball, bro. You didn't see the Adonai Mitchell last week. You got to be kidding me, though. Also, Michael Carter's not in at running back. I think we can all say that. MHJ got sharked on that touchdown. That should have been a touchdown. You should have just gave it to him. I don't care that he was a yard short. They still got in the end zone anyway. Again, Michael Carter sharked that touchdown. Bro, what are you doing? Zonovan Knight scored a freaking touchdown. I haven't heard about this guy since he was the starter for the Jets a couple of games back in 2022. Crazy pull, by the way. But other than that, bad fumbles as well. There were that. Just what was that? That's the best way to put it. I can put it for you guys. Also, looks like some team, the same team from Week 10 of 2024 again on for the rest of the season. Last year, there were several games where they just simply blew it. That's what this team looked like. Also, Josh White was a legitimate one pass rusher. He had 7-8 pressures, just consistently winning off the line. Again, he was very good in this game. But it doesn't really matter because they still lost. Again, they had 3 fumbles lost. That's going to lose you a lot of games despite, again, the Titans offense not really doing much. Again, they had 360 total yards of the Cardinals. And I will say the Titans did drive down the field somewhat decently in the first and second quarter, which I guess is good for them. But absolutely wide open for the Titans, good for them. Now let's move on to the best game of the day. Again, I put it as advertised, and again, it did what it was supposed to.
From Seattle, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3 of 4 this season, so this for him is right in wide left. And look at this, direct snap. Jalen Milroe, the rookie out of Alabama, with the pitch and looking there for Walker. And there's a loose ball. Pitch out, Rachaad White. He's looking for blocking, and he gets it right there, and steamrolling his way in with Ruben Charbonnet. Charbonnet will remain with the line drive. Touchdown! Working on Vildor.
Where he left off coming into this game.
Fake to Walker. Chased over there by the and there's a flag down. Catch made by Young. And it's Charbonnet on first and goal. Touchdown! What a way to begin the second half. Back and big, a 27-yard catch. Third down, 15, Mayfield. Winds up, throws, caught, touchdown! Abuka! To this, second down 2. Fake to Walker, look at the time. Going deep, and he's got him! Smith and Chupa! What a catch! Goal. Flag thrown, end zone caught, back touchdown! They need the 46 of Seattle, 3rd and 13. Mayfield deep, and he's got Abuka! He's got him! Caught inside the 5! Durham, the tight end in motion. Outside, Blockworth, that's a touchdown. White. And the Buccaneers are back on top. And Kubiak said that was the first call I made when I got this job. First and goal. Call it the 3. Touchdown. Barner sheds Levante David. Darnold. Here comes Diaby and downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Torrey Horton. Mayfield to the air. Worth the block. Buying time into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Touchdown.
And the Bucks, whew, monster win in Seattle as the Seahawks are now, what are they, 1-2 at home? Yeah, fall to 1-2 at home. As, again, absolute shootout to say the least. This defense was definitely optional in this game as the Bucks moved to 4-1. And were they 4-1 last year? I don't even care. Monster win for them. They will be, that's going to be a good game. They got the Niners at home next week. I think that'll definitely be a fun game to watch. Seattle, though, falls to 3-2. They will be heading to Duval County next week for what should be a rough game against the Jags in terms of, again, what we're going to see in that game. But still, not in terms of, again, like it's going to be pretty competitive. I just don't see it not being physical. So there we go. But for the Bucks, first game in NFL history where both quarterbacks had 80% completion percentages and threw for over 325 yards. That's actually crazy. But again, like I said, both secondaries did not show up for this game. But honestly, guys, I don't think this is a hot take. Emeka Egbuka might be a top 5 receiver in the NFL at this moment. Again, obviously, oh no, there's like this guy and that guy. Obviously, he's not that good. But at this very moment, again, some guys are injured. I don't see why you can't say that's the case because he was the best receiver in the NFL this week, and it really wasn't even that close. There were at least 10 instances where he just absolutely blew up the play in terms of what again the Seattle was trying to do in coverage. Tariq Woolen literally ran 40 yards downfield, covering that much, again, like half the field. Emeka Egbuka still was able to get to the ball and was like wide open. Like, there's only so much you can do against a guy like this. He's just so advanced, and like the fact that his route running is like this good is just absolutely bonkers. Like him and JSN, there's again these Buckeye receivers. There's just something different about how they play, and again, you just saw that in this game, and I think that was the biggest headline there. Emeka Egbuka, JSN are just they're just wonders to watch, guys. Again, they're just so good. Again, there's gonna be games where they don't play great, but like when they're on, it's hard to stop. But again, also, the safeties suck for the Seahawks, and, guys are injured and stuff. But again, as an asterisk. Anyway, though, Kane Hines, the dog, he had a massive game. He couldn't get tackled in this one. He was just absolutely awesome. No pressure until, the Levante David play. They got literally 0 sacks. I think they might have gotten 4 total pressures. It was rough to watch. But again, when they needed pressure, Antoine Winfield got it done. Again, that's why he's, again, a premier safety in football, even though maybe he isn't, like, as good in coverage as he might have been a couple of years ago. Still, I'm not saying he's old, but again, that's kind of what it's been like for him. Levante David, though, huge interception. Again, that's why he's, again, this team's captain. He'll be a Hall of Famer. Again, he's just an, elite player. He just make a lot of crazy plays. Again, won them the game in a lot of ways. Also, safeties closed well, even though they weren't great overall. They made a lot of plays there, again, late in the game, especially carrying those crossing routes where they did, again, really clutch plays. Also, D-line has to close up early on those holes, again, against the run. Again, that was a big issue as well for them. But for the Seattle, again, Darnold was fun to watch until that last play. He threw 4 touchdowns, guys. He went absolutely crazy. That last pick, and I wanted to say defines him, but that was just, it wasn't good, because under pressure, he really wasn't that good either. Cup got open consistently. Yeah, again, the numbers don't really do it justice. He had one of his better games in a while. Run game was at their disposal. I guess that's the best way to put it. They didn't really run the ball much, but honestly, I couldn't even really care either, considering how they were throwing the ball downfield. But still, again, I think the running game would have been a little bit better used there in like the second and third quarter. Several missed opportunities as well. There were several times where I thought they again could have really took the game, but again, they didn't do that. De'Aaron Young, though, Torrey Horton made a couple big plays, and I'm just waiting for Torrey Horton to have a break, again, a massive game, and also A.J. Barner, again, he was huge in this game, but like really, 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 again, break out. And also, great contained by tackles as well. They did a good job in pass protection in this one. Again, just hats off to them. But with that said, secondary took the week off. Again, there's no way around it. They were absolutely awful. I can't put it anywhere nice. Again, Kobe Bryant at least was decent against the run. But like Nick Amanawari, I said this a lot. He looked like a rookie. Pass rush was banking on a blown assignment. Yeah, they really didn't get any pressure either. Again, this was it was a rough game for both defenses. Also, no linebacker covered. It was non-existent. Ernest Jones didn't cover. Where is he? Tyrese Knight didn't cover. Again, that just it wasn't part of the game plan. Team stats, though. Again, Seahawks had 460 yards. A lot of yards in this game, guys. It was a crazy one. Again, like I said, it was going to be the game of the weekend. Again, that's what it looked like. I mean, we'll get to Sunday Night Football in a little bit, but this game was really crazy. Now let's get to a game that, again, should have probably been a little bit more of a blowout. But, yeah, here are the highlights.
A better October afternoon than what we have today in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Detroit Lions are in town to take on the 2-2 Cincinnati Bengals. Jared Goff will check it short to Laporta at the 10. Laporta with a little stiff arm up in the air and in for 6. 2. Goff backside pressure. It's Hendrickson. The ball is out, scooped up underneath by the Bengals. Off play action. Browning to the sideline for Chase, and it's intercepted by Amik Robertson. Former high school quarterback takes the snap. He'll throw. End zone touchdown. Browning, pressure coming from Hutchinson. He is in trouble, and Hutchinson's got the safety. Start. 3rd and 15. Jump ball, and it's intercepted. Pick. 2nd and 5. Browning with protection this time. And it's intercepted by Anzalone. Anzalone. To Gibbs with blockers in front. Gibbs weaving through traffic. Inside the 5. Fights his way to the goal line. Touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs. Touchdown Lions. Here's Montgomery again. Jump cut to the outside. Montgomery into the end zone with the record tire. Browning floats it down the sideline. Incomplete. He wanted Mike Gesicki, and here comes a flag. With time, late pressure comes, open down the sideline, drops it in! Jamar Chase will walk in for the second touchdown of the day! From the 12, Goff looking for the end zone, it is caught! Isaac to Slaw with the touchdown! 2nd and goal, Browning to the end zone, diving catch, Higgins touchdown! T. Higgins!
That last drive, oh boy.
And a safety sack by Derek Barnes, and that'll end the hope.
In the Detroit Lions win their 4th straight game with a blowout win over the Bengals. The score doesn't really do that, but again, this game wasn't really close at all throughout the game. I mean, again, the Lions didn't even play their best game, but again, like I said, it really didn't matter in this one. As they move to 4-1, they will be playing somewhat. Oh, they got the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a banger. Bengals, though, 3 straight losses. It's been rough, but at least, again, they had a little bit more garbage time disposal from the lack of points they've had the past 2 weeks. But they're not looking too hot. They'll be doing something next week. I really don't know, but who are they even playing next week? Oh, they got the Packers on the road. That'll be interesting. But for Jared Goff, again, statistically, he looked fine, but, like, again, he just really didn't do much for me in this game, to be honest with you guys. Like, I honestly could, like, care less about his performance in this game. Again, I think he was pedestrian at best. Again, I guess that's what I wrote, but I don't know. It's Jared Goff. He put up good numbers. Cool. The running game wasn't exactly efficient, but they just ran downhill, and it kind of just worked out its way out. So I'll say there. Also, 2 safeties. When does that happen? Like, again, there's 2. Again, the Lions scored 2 safeties in this game. Like, very bizarre. Other than that, though, Amon-Ra, did he just not play? Again, he had 8 catches, 100 yards. But again, it was like a little bit like, huh? That happened? To be honest with you guys, again, on film, he was like, I could definitely see him running routes and stuff. But it just, like, again, it's kind of like routine at this point. Like, I wasn't even fazed by this performance from him. Sam Laporta was good. But anyway, for this defense, where is he? Kirby Joseph had a pick, and he was also battling an injury in this game, so he might not have his A game. But still, pick. He is now 20 interception, which is tied for the 5th most in your first 4 seasons since 2000 for a DB, or not a DB for anyone. So yeah, good for him in that sense. On that though. Yeah, huge pressure rates. They got a lot of pressure. Also 4-1 for the 3rd straight year. Again, they blew them out. The Lions are a good team. We all know that. For the Bengals, though, Jake Browning is not the dude. I think we can definitely really say that now. Again, all his interceptions were inexcusable. Again, garbage time stats, cool. But, again, it's kind of hard to, look at that and say, yeah, you kind of lost us the game. I don't know what to tell you. Running game, no, they can't run the ball. Their O-line is not, again, it's not awful. But they're not going to be able to block really up when, again, you have a passing game that's kind of non-existent. So I'm not going to really even try to get into that. We can go into it more again when we get to the power rankings, which we probably will. But still, that's what I got there. Jamar Chase, 6 for 110, 2 touchdowns. He was 3rd on the team in tackles, led the team in catches. He is their best player. I don't really know what to tell you guys. T. Higgins didn't show up. Honor Yossi was good, I guess. Again, I think it was inflated stat line. But still, I don't know. This was just an offense that I don't want to watch. They couldn't run the ball. Great wrapping up at the 2nd level. I will say that. They did do a decent job with that in the defense, even though they really weren't that great. No one got pressure either. Again, I got Trey Henderson, cool, he had 2 sacks, but they really weren't getting much done. Garbage time merchants as well on the points. But, yeah, the Bengals got outgained. They kind of sucked really a lot for most of this game. But still, again, if Jake Browning didn't throw for 3 picks, it probably would have been a closer game. Now let's move on to, I guess, what was supposed to be the best game of the week.
It is America's Game of the Week on a gorgeous day from Inglewood, California, and a fun matchup here with the 3-1 Chargers playing host to the 2-2 Commanders.
Coming, Herbert senses, runs, Herbert first down, still on his feet, Justin Herbert, foot race, and he's up in on the fake. Herbert throwing, end zone caught for the touchdown. It's McConkey. Deserves it more. Herbert pressured again, slings and it's caught by Johnson. And now the ball is loose. Washington recovers. 2nd and 1. Give the handoff here. Krosky Merritt has a wall. He is in. Touchdown, Commanders. Lay gets it away. Boy, it's a wobbler. Rare for him. Here's Daniels. Lets one fly. Going deep. Luke McCaffrey. He's got it! Oh, what a catch! We've got another flag. Krosky Merritt streaks to the outside. He's in again. Touchdown, Jakari Krosky Merritt. Play clock at 6. 4th down and 2. There we go. Herbert looking to throw. Pressure. Guns one. Incomplete. Half away from here and got a lot of family and friends here, as Aaron told us. 2 sweets full. Here, though, the Chargers ball out. Ball is out. Krosky Merritt fumbled. Herbert looking that way. Throwing. Tip. Intercepted at the goal line. Mikey Sandler still with the pick. Daniels pressured. Floating one for the corner. Deebo Samuel. He's got it. That's the exclamation point.
And the Commanders put on their best overall performance of the year as they take care of the Chargers pretty handily, 27-10, a little bit of an inflated final score. But this was the best Commanders defensive performance I have seen in a minute, probably since, honestly, 2020. As going to get the win here, move to 3-2. They will be playing the Bears next week on Monday Night Football. Again, off the Bears bye week. Chargers will be heading to Miami for a game where hopefully they can bounce back and fix some things. But for the Commanders, biggest things were, it was a great close by them. Again, I understand their offense wasn't great past like the 4-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, but they made the plays they were supposed to, and that's again what you can ask from them, especially on the road and I'm gonna say a tough environment. But again, against a decent team, so that's what I'll say there. But Jaden Daniels, again, I'd say he played smart, but again, really wasn't asked to do too much in this game. But again, the running game is it's not going to be, I don't think it'll be like a real weapon for them. But again, if Bill Crosby Merritt is able to consistently break explosive runs again every game, that'll be a good way to put this team into advantageous situations, despite I don't think this running game being something they can consistently rely on. Again, but again, Jaden Daniels' first game back from his injury really wasn't asked to do too much in terms of actual, again, what you're used to seeing from him. Luke McCaffrey showed out and showed up. He was really good. Again, I understand only one catch, 50-yard game, or a 50-yard catch was that, but a lot of nice routes he ran in this game. I got to give him his props there. Deebo obviously showed up, 8 for 96 and a touchdown. He has had his best season in a minute now as a receiver, and he's just, again, being utilized right, and he's making a lot of plays. Again, obviously, yak threat and all that. Interior O-line was very solid with horizontal displacement. Bill Kraskamira is a guy that runs very well against with zone blocking, especially when he can, again, kind of like, I wouldn't say stutter step, but kind of like hesitate in the backfield and be able to make runs that way. And again, we saw, again, a lot of good reads by him in this game, and the O-line, again, really worked well with that. Great pressure as well. They got, again, a ton of pressure. It was like, I think it was like 15 pressures in total. Again, it was from a lot of different guys. Dan Quinn did a really good job missing up the simulated, and again, a lot of the stunts he ran. So, again, very good keeping them guessing as well. Linebackers played in their roles as well. Again, they didn't really try to do too much, which was an issue 2 weeks ago and really last week as well. So that's what I'll say there. And also, aggressive secondary will make a dynamic defense. Again, I think that the fact that, again, a guy like Marshawn Lattimore is just basically being told, do whatever you want. I mean, again, it definitely could be dangerous, but I also like, where they're heading with that. Over the Chargers, though. Yeah, running game is cooked. Again, I don't even know what to say. Like, again, Ryan Hampton wasn't bad in this game. Again, the numbers won't tell you that. But he's now on IR. They really just don't have a running back right now. I don't see them want to trade for one, but they got to figure something out there. Because, again, they will not be a successful offense if this running game doesn't work because of the fact that they don't, again, it's tough to say that they don't have any good receiver, or not, I don't say good receivers, but anyone who's like, I'd say it's probably hot right now because it's dangerous. This isn't an offense that should be built around Justin Herbert throwing the football. Again, obviously, how? He's like a top 5 quarterback in terms of talent. That is true, but he has already thrown more picks this season than he has last year. And you go, oh, yeah, of course, he only threw 3. That's what you'd say. But it also speaks to the fact that this running game is just, it's just not good. And again, with Jim Harbaugh, if you can't run the football, you will not be a successful football team. Again, it's going to be hard for me to see them being able to do that, too. Again, just with, again, the talent they have back there and the offensive line being absolutely cooked as well. So, not a great situation for the Chargers. But still, if Justin Herbert can, again, minimize these turnovers, again, the pick really wasn't completely his fault. But still, that's going to be an issue for me. Because, again, he wasn't a guy coming in, I'm like, yeah, he's pretty conservative. But he's not going to be like, again, 3 picks was just absolutely stunning for me last year. I don't see that happening again. But still, for this, McConkey has to put it together. Again, was a lot awesome at the end of last year. And he had a touchdown, yes, but like he just hasn't really put anything together so far this season. O-line is, they're a mess right now. It's rough to watch. Again, I'm not saying it was as bad as like 2019, 2020 Chargers offensive line at times, but it's definitely not very good. Edge rushers were inconsistent. They got some pressure. Tuli Tuipulotu, I think, still did do a decent job, but there were a lot of plays where they just really weren't getting anything from those guys. Other than that, though, safeties, again, they got a little too complacent. That's how those big plays happened. Keenan became the fastest player ever. Also, again, bright spot with 159 games to have 1,000 career catches. Good for him. Other than that, though, the panicked 4th down was kind of a microcosm in this game. That was towards the end of the 3rd quarter, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what I have there, but that's really all I got. So, yeah, this game was interesting to say the least. But now let's get to again, this wasn't the best game. It was probably the best performance of the day, though.
Perfect early October night in Orchard Park, New York, home of the 5-time defending AFC East champion Buffalo Bills. For you. Oh, mishandled there, and it's Patriots ball. It hit Knox as he was coming by, and Stevenson remains the back. 5 in the pattern, and Stevenson with the catch, and he loses the ball. The man has had a lot of fumbling problems. And from the 7, Allen completed, and a lost football again. It's free, and let's see who's on the bottom of that pile. Excitement of the night. Here's Allen. Here's Samuel. There's a touchdown. Diggs motion man, bottom of the screen. May rolling that way, pointing, throwing towards Diggs, who broke free, and he's got it at the 5. Patriots looking for the lead from Andre Stevenson. Holds it into the end zone. Love hearing the communication, huh? 2nd and 13. Allen bouncing, firing, intercepted. Underneath, Jones comes to get it. Pitch. Stevenson, touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson. Allen fires, end zone, Coleman, touchdown. Pressure right at him, he gets rid of it, and it's caught. What a play to Diggs for the 1st down lead. Right down the middle, Borregales nails it, and the Patriots take the lead.
And the Patriots pull off their biggest win in years, to say the least, as they get a massive victory over the Bills to hand the Bills their first loss on the season, now making it official that there will not be an undefeated team past Week 5 for the first time since what year? 2014, when again everyone started out 3-0 and they just all lost. So that's what I'll say there. But it's been a while since we have been an undefeated team going to week 6. But still, Patriots, big time win for them. They'll be going to New Orleans next week. Hopefully that isn't a trap game for them. Bills, you have a chance to bounce back against the Falcons next week on the road. But a lot of good things from this game on both sides. I mean, less for for the Bills, obviously. Again, we'll just jump into the Patriots here. But when I said, yeah, is this a wild card team? Honestly, from this performance, again, I'm not going to try to go too crazy, but this is a Patriots team, again, that seems capable of being a contender to make the playoffs. Again, at the very least, that's what you can take away from this game. They went toe-to-toe with a division rival, got the big-time W, can't ask for much more. Also, it's their first win in Buffalo since 2021. Again, that was the Mac Jones 3-pass infamous game. But still, big-time performance by the Patriots. Good for them. Diggs look different in like his old self at the same time. When I say different is the fact that he is invested in the Patriots right now. He isn't saying, I'm the dude, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. If you don't want it, I'm going to be pissed. That's not what he's doing. He's invested in his football team, and he's buying into his role, which is something he's never really done. So the fact that is, again, what's going on is just very, very fun to watch, and again, speaks to Mike Vrabel as head coach. It's going to have to get back to him at some point there. Prayers to Gibson as well. I think it was a torn ACL from what I saw on, again, the replay, but I might be wrong on that. Again, you can definitely go, let's see what that was. Antonio, again, he's out the season. I know that. Injury. ACL, bam. Again, that's what happens. It's prototypical. Again, the way he planted, again, he got flipped, and it really wasn't the flip. It was the plant. But that does not look good. But again, they didn't really run the ball either. So, what am I going to say there? Drake May, is he a top 10 quarterback? I think it's fair to say that's the case. He was really got under pressure. His footwork, always an issue, was much, much, much improved so far this season. I got that a really weak one. So, again, that's good to say. Other than that, though, O-line is quietly decent. They're not dominant by any means, but they did do a good job in this game. Yeah, wait for this running game to kick in. I think this offense could be, again, really fun. I wouldn't say fun to watch, but it could definitely be really solid. This is the best offense they've had in years. They didn't make the big mistakes as well on either side of the football. There were, again, some coverage busts in the secondary, but other than that, there really wasn't anything that too bad. Best performance of the week by any NFL team as well. I was very, very impressed. The pressure wasn't exactly constant, but it definitely was decent. Harold Landry, I think, had his most efficient game in actually a couple of years that I think in terms of what I charted there as well, so that's good. Andy Borgos had a 52-yarder as well. For the Bills, not surprising with, again, how these games have gone the last few years. Again, last year they only won by 3. 2 years ago they only won by 6. So again, I'm 6-7. But still, I'm not too surprised. That is how this game went. But still, again, the Bills didn't really play their best game as they lost a turnover battle for the first time in 26 games, which again was an NFL record. Also snaps their 13-game home winning streak, which I think dates back to, what was it, against the Bills back, not the Bills, the Broncos back in Week 10 of 2023. Again, crazy to think about if I'm not mistaken on that. But other than that, running game was neutralized as well. Again, they didn't run the ball very well at all. That's probably the best way to put it. Having been 5-0 under Josh Allen as well. Again, there's probably a reason for that. Reminded me of the 2019 Week 5 game of the Colts and the Chiefs. The Colts went into the Chiefs Stadium that game and shut down, again, their running game. And also Mahomes a lot as Josh Allen got contained in this one. Hats off the Patriots defense. And again, the Chiefs lost someone 19-13 as well. So very similar in that sense. Oh, yeah. Chiefs were undefeated coming in that game as well. Don't be too pressed if you're a Bills fan as well. Again, this is definitely a tough loss, but again, it's one loss, and also you're a team that is very, very good. And your defense, again, played pretty well overall in a lot of ways. So, again, I wouldn't be too stressed. But still, next week, definitely a game you're going to want to, again, bounce back with. But still, that's all I got here. 3 Patriots by the Bills really lost in this game. And yeah, I'll see you for the Monday Night Football recap tomorrow. And yeah, we got a lot of good things coming up as Week 6 approaches. Hope you guys enjoyed all this. And yeah, see you then.
Far side, Godowski across McKenna. One-timer, he scores! Gavin McKenna's first collegiate goal.